Well, hello, everybody. I'm Ryan Quinn. With me is Sarah Church, live from Agonic Brewing Company. And this is True North. Good evening, Sarah.
Good evening, Ryan. Happy to be here.
And this is really exciting. It is our first ever episode of True North, where we explore the North Woods of Wisconsin. So we encourage you to hang out with us. You know, this is live, so if you wanted to come into Agonic Brewing Company here in downtown Rice Lake and join the conversation, maybe we can even find a microphone for you. You never know. You never know what can happen with live radio, right? Or podcasts, however the case may be.
Potato.
Yeah, potato. So Sarah and I will be taking you through a journey through the Northwoods, both music and events, and the characters that make up the wonderful area that you and I get to call home.
Yes, one of the best areas that there is, which I know, obviously, we sound a little biased, but...
I suppose you'll have that when you're talking about things that you love.
Things you love, yeah, yep.
And it's always really exciting to get to hang out. Who knows what's going to happen with this podcast, where we're going to go, the characters we're going to meet. But starting here at Agonic is, for me, kind of special. We do an open mic here every other Wednesday, and open mic will be following the True North podcast each week. So you can come on out if you want to participate in the podcast. You can. And then, of course, stay for open mic afterwards. There's always a lot of fun musicians that swing in and do the thing. A lot of them are musicians that you'll see playing in the area. So that's always neat to see. The last open mic that we did, now Thanksgiving got in the way. There was a birthday that got in the way, and some other things that happened.
A birthday.
But the last open mic we did, we had Dylan Martinson stop by, who's, it might sound a little biased again, disclaimer, he's my cousin. He's been playing all over the area, and he was on our other podcast, After Hours Radio, last Sunday, and we found out that he's going to Florida. We're not going to see him in January or February because he booked a tour in Florida to kick off his EP release. And so that was a real treat. He talked a little bit about that at the open mic, and played some of the songs from the new EP, along with some of the old songs and some cover songs. So that was really neat. To tell you never know which musician or who's gonna stop in and join you. So one of the things I love about being at Agonic Brewing Company in downtown Rice Lake.
And good for him, too. It's nice to see local musicians succeed like that. That's neat.
It is. And, you know, not just Dylan, but have you heard of Rafe Carlson?
No.
Rafe Carlson opened up for Aquafest last year. I forget, it was the night of Sawyer Brown. And Rafe has got he's country. We'll say country for sure. But a little more rock.
Okay.
Rock country-ish. Like if you had to pin just one genre on Rafe Carlson, you'd say country.
Okay.
But for somebody that knows and loves country, what kind of country is this?
Yeah.
It's it's a little more rock tinged. Doesn't quite have like a voice like Randy Houser, but maybe like a band like Randy Houser.
Oh, right on.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
And he's been he hasn't been to open mic, but he's been playing in our area quite a bit. Have you been to the Enchanted Barn?
I haven't. I've been meaning to get over there and check it out.
You know they're award winning.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what award. I read it. I read it on one of their promotional flyers.
They won an award though.
Yeah, the flyer said which award. I didn't know which award, or I didn't read that far. But it's a beautiful place, a beautiful venue, and Rafe has played there quite a bit. You know, there's another musician. You're a fan of country music, right, Sarah?
Huge country music fan.
Who's your favorite country music artist?
So my favorite is Craig Morgan, which I know is not the most...
International Harvester.
Heck yeah. I know that's not the most traditional answer, but I grew up on, Craig Morgan, and to me that the way he sings country too, he cranks his mouth to the side and sings out the side of his mouth, and I think it's just so cool. And he's so patriotic too, and really involved with the troops and kind of supporting troops and their families, and I think that's really cool.
He is I don't know enough about Craig Morgan um, outside of International Harvester.
Oh, really? He's
Yeah.
got one song, and
I will admit, there's a slower song that he has that
Yes.
I absolutely love, and it's probably one of his other singles, but I can't for the life of me think of the name of it right now.
He does have one I've played before on the weekend morning show over at the radio station. It's called Tough. And he essentially wrote this like love letter song to his wife about how tough she is and, kind of giving credit to your partner. And I
Sure.
have said from ever since I first heard the song when I was young, like no other song is perfectly described like my own mom, like growing up, she was a single mom, things like that. And so to me, it's kind of,
She was tough.
she was tough and it still is, and I think that's so cool to see songs like that still.
Absolutely, and there's an art to writing a good country song.
Yes.
There's an art to writing every song, but I think country. I mean, maybe for good reason you can be the judge, but kind of when you get good country, no, good country is amazing. Some of the best music that's out there. Say what you will about bro country or frat country and stuff like that. Your throwaway party songs. Every decade had throwaway party country songs, and every decade had throwaway rock songs.
That's a good way to say it. Yeah, it's not just this.
Yeah, it's you know why we don't remember them? Because they weren't good. But the 80s and the 90s had bad country too, and so did the 60s and the 70s. It wasn't just George Jones, and it wasn't just Waylon Jennings. There were other people in between, but it's a good country song is one of the most powerful songs I think of any genre.
Honestly, and the ability that they have to really either tell a story or kind of paint a picture with emotion. Anytime I'm doing the weekend morning show, that's one big thing I talk about is just like taking the time to really listen to the lyrics of a song. Even Rascal Flatts, they had some back in the day that just the lyrics were so powerful, that if you really take the time to listen to it, it's like, whoa.
And I will say, and maybe this is the rapper in me. But it's somebody that listens to a lot of different genres. My favorite is jazz. And
yes.
Not vocal jazz, but instrumental jazz.
Yes.
So take my opinion for the less than 2 cents that it's worth. Now I forgot my point. I got too wrapped up in the metaphor. I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying, Sarah?
You were talking about the fact that your favorite is instrumental jazz.
Yeah. And, sometimes with country music, I feel like what's the word? Some of the lyrics can be awfully cheesy.
Yes, some of them. And,
you can get away with that in country music. It works in country music. And what's really neat about that is humans are awfully cheesy and rather corny at times.
And I think people don't acknowledge that. So there's times then you hear a cheesy line in a country song and people are like, oh my gosh, or my husband's notorious for, he'll do this where we're driving in the car and he's going, like to country songs for the cheesier parts of it. And, I think we all seem to forget that, like you said, as humans, we have a tendency to be a little cheesy as well.
And I think that the country music does a wonderful job of portraying everyday life.
Yeah.
Better than some genres or a number of genres. With rock, you'll get into it paints a picture of everyday life, but usually, well, maybe not even usually, but in a more abstract way.
Yes.
You don't
I
often
think that's
get
a good way to say it.
straightforward rock song.
No.
I say that, and then I think about hair metal.
I was going to say a couple come to mind, yeah, but
I wouldn't say that those are good.
No.
Rock songs.
No.
They might make a great country song.
Yeah.
But as far as put a little twang in that.
Yeah.
And maybe it'd be all right. But there's something about a country song where you can say what you hear in coffee shops, what you hear in bakeries, what you hear in grocery stores, where if you say that in a different genre, it's not that it's going to be a bad song or lose its meaning. It's just not going to sound as right.
I agree, and I think like when you're thinking of country music too, you think of family values, right? We think of good morals. That's one big thing they kind of push is being a good person, taking pride in where you come from and taking care of one another. And I think in today's day and age, especially, those are often lessons that get kind of lost in the wayside.
Right. And, I think country music, and I think rap is pretty similar in this, in that you've got two kind of dominating views on the genre.
Yeah.
You've got, and I won't call it bro country or throwaway country this time. you've got one lane of country music that really, what's the word I'm looking for? Really cheeses it up for the sake of cheesing it up.
Yep.
And then you've got other country singers and songwriters that are more interested in telling a story and using their words to paint a picture. And, I mean, you can paint a picture the other way too, but I personally like the picture that uses more paint. And not for the sake of using more paint, but uses more paint in the way that you should use more paint.
I agree.
You can't just throw any old thing up there. You're going to get brown, and brown every time is not what we're looking for.
Yeah.
As Elton John said, there can be a solid wall of sound that you do like, but knowing where to put the pieces or the paint or the words, that's a talent. And I think that storytelling country music does it like no other genre can.
Yep, I wholeheartedly agree.
With the exception of rap.
Yes, and I feel like
that was the point I was trying to make.
Yeah, I feel like rap. It's one of those things too, though, where people have such a just kind of dead set opinion on it. They automatically, it's rap, and they turn it off. Where I think if some folks really took the time to just try and kind of open your horizons a little bit and listen to certain rap artists, you could find you're trying to paint a picture ultimately.
And I think that. You'll have your Little Johns of the world, your Get Low songs.
Yeah.
But you're also going to...
You have to. Clubs wouldn't exist otherwise.
Right. And you're going to have your... what's the song I'm looking for? There's a good one on the countryside that that fits the bill, but... I'm drawing a blank. But I'm sure there's something off of Luke Bryan's first album that that fits that bill. I know because I had it. When it was new, by the way.
Are you talking Country Girl, Shake It For Me?
That wasn't the first album, was it? But, I mean, that's a good...
You're right, no.
Country Girl, Shake It For Me is a good example.
Yeah.
It's just a countrified... Oh, speaking of dance and country. Who is it, Benny Blanco? Is it Benny Blanco? The cowboy get up, the get down.
Oh, yeah, I think.
That is, as a DJ, I heard that song. What is this? And I absolutely loved it from the get. Because there's people dancing on my dance floor with big belt buckles that for 3 weeks straight I've seen them in this place, and they haven't got off their stool once. This song comes on, they're in the middle of the dance floor with their tight jeans and their big belt buckles and cowboy hats.
It did seem like it was one of those songs that really pulled a lot of different people together, even people that didn't like country music. I have friends that despise country music but love that song.
Yeah, there's a place in the world for songs like that, and especially when you blend hip hop and country so well like that did.
And do it well. That's the key there. Yeah.
I think that song is really, and you can say what you want to about Jelly Roll, but that's really the only time I've seen it successfully done, blending hip hop and country music.
There've been other attempts, but I feel like they weren't quite that successful. I mean, Kane Brown did a mix with Usher, and was it Usher? Yeah, and it wasn't bad. It just wasn't like that.
Kane Brown on his own, to me, I'll take or leave Kane Brown. I respect the talent there.
Yeah,
because I don't want to say that and make it sound like I'm a Kane Brown hater. It's just not. It's not quite for me.
Yeah.
Something about the drums, I think, is what it is. But with the Usher example, that just seems so forced.
It did. To me, it didn't feel like authentic, and I see what they were trying to do, but it was trying a little too hard. And I'm actually a Kane Brown fan.
And I'm an Usher fan.
Yes.
So
me too. Yes.
I mean, it's just there's a talent there in telling stories, and I think
Yes.
that rap and country, while very different in sound texture, do it almost pretty. They'll look at the same topics and paint a very different picture of the same thing.
Yeah.
And I think that they do that very well in their own right. So, but I was trying to tell you about Joyanne Parker. So we took a long way to get here and never even made it back. So I'm taking a shortcut straight back to where I was trying to go. Joyanne Parker, going back to the Enchanted Barn, I met her there.
Yeah.
She's a country singer. She won an award for her Patsy Cline show. She does a tribute show for Patsy Cline.
No, is she local then to this area, or?
I don't know where her roots are laid.
Okay, but she was at the Enchanted Barn.
And she's done quite a few things there. So she's
Okay.
not too far removed from our area.
Yeah.
But I don't know who gets to claim her.
Yeah.
Rice Lake does not.
Okay.
Neither does Cameron or Chautauqua, I think. But Joyanne, she just with her own original work reached the top 10 on Billboard.
Wow.
I forget which specific chart. It could have been blues, the blues chart. But with her latest album of original work,
Wow.
I think it was the first single off of it, reached the top 10 on one of the Billboard charts. And I'm gonna have to be more prepared when we do these shows. Take notes for things like that. But she's one that she can, with her voice, she's got one of those voices that any story you put under that voice, you're gonna get captured in that story.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have thought far enough ahead. So I'll do it for the next time we get together.
Yeah.
I did not bring any Joyanne Parker with me, but Joyanne Parker, if she's in the area and you like country music, you need to go see Joyanne Parker. I guess that was the point I was going to.
And she's
to try
normally, you said at the Enchanted Barn, she's been there several times.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's done. She did a tribute to country women.
That's cool.
That's not what the showcase was called, but that's what it was. I think it was the Ladies of Country was the name of the showcase.
Oh.
And she throws herself into the. It feels like you're on the scene of a documentary when you're at that show.
That's cool.
Not only does she sing the songs exceptionally well, but she's done her research too.
Yeah.
So she's able to talk about these songs in a way that makes you feel like you're hearing it from the original recording artist, from the person that wrote the songs. And what a talent that is.
Yes.
You get totally lost in the night. And next time Joyanne is around, it's guaranteed that I'm going to be there.
I was going to say, I think that's decided I need to go.
Yeah. Wherever Joyanne Parker shows up, go and see her. Take that opportunity, whether it's at the Enchanted Barn or somewhere else. Go see Joyanne Parker now. You're going to want to. She is absolutely phenomenal. Speaking of phenomenal musicians, I'll tell you more about Brian Bethke. Have you met Brian Bethke?
I have not.
So I'd like to take a break. I'm going to refill one of these wonderful craft brews from Agonic. We're going to take a short break so I can do that. While we're doing that, I'm going to play Brian Bethke. And I'll tell you more about Brian Bethke on the other side. This is a song called Show Me the Numbers. It was recorded live. I don't know where. Brian sent me the track and just kind of notated that it was recorded live. And it sounds phenomenal. I love this song. Again, it's called Show Me the Numbers. It's Brian Bethke.
on man, can you sell my records all across this land? Hey Mr. Agent Man, can you book me shows from New York to Japan? I sing you songs about anything, I sing you songs about sweet things. Just show me numbers, just show me numbers anyhow. I sing you songs about anything, I sing you songs about sweet things. Just show me numbers, just show me numbers anyhow. Hey, all you girls out there, can you sing my songs? Can you sing them out so loud? Hey, all you men out there, would you be just like me? Could you be just like me? Whoa. I'll sing you songs about anything, I'll sing you songs about sweet things. Just show me numbers, just show me numbers anyhow. I'll sing you songs about anything, I'll sing you songs about sweet things. Just show me numbers, just show me numbers anyhow. Hey, Mr. Banker Man, can I buy a jet plane, fly across this land? Hey, American Idol Man, can I be in Clay Aiken or Ruben Studdard's band? Whoa. I'll write 'em songs about anything, I'll write 'em songs about sweet things. Just show me numbers, just show me numbers anyhow. I'll write 'em songs about anything, I'll write 'em songs about sweet things. Just show me the numbers, just show me the numbers anyhow. Sue Orfield Band. Give it up for him. Come on.
welcome back to True North, live here from Agonic Brewery in Rice Lake. I'm Sarah C. here with Ryan Quinn. Goodness gracious. I'm messing up your name now. I'm so used to saying Sarah C. that we said Sarah Church earlier, and it's messing with my head.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yes.
That made me really happy. Hi, I'm Ryan Church. I've always wanted a new identity. How great.
Yeah.
Ryan Quinn. But
yep.
Quinn Church, it's the same thing.
I think we got to stick with my Sarah C, or I'm just going to keep confusing myself.
Right. So, Sarah, I don't know if you noticed on the end of that last song, but as I mentioned, that was Brian Bethke. And he mentioned Sue Orfield at the end of that song. And I'll tell you more about Sue Orfield in just a minute, but I'd like to pause and talk about Brian Bethke first. That song, Show Me the Numbers, was sent to me 2011, 12-ish, 13, somewhere in there. And at the time, I hadn't met Brian Bethke. I had just heard about him through the grapevines. He was a singer-songwriter out of I thought at the time Eau Claire, but from Osceola area. And he's been playing in the area a lot, and has such a great voice. And we were talking about painting pictures and songwriting. He top notch. His original music with the way that he the words he chooses and the words that he uses tend to be the right ones every time. He has an album called Ghost Songs. That's not from it. Ghost Songs is a little more toned down than Show Me the Numbers, in that sometimes it's Americana, sometimes it's country, sometimes it's grunge, but it never sounds like it doesn't belong. It's all of those things all at one time, and there's songs about his life. There's songs about what he's gone through, and like we talked about, rock, a little more abstract, and things like that. So it's just if you get a chance to see Brian Bethke now, that could be increasingly slim, as I won't speak on specifics because I'm horrible at remembering details, but Brian has been facing health issues for years now, and is pretty open about that on Facebook. So if you want to know about Brian Bethke, I encourage you look up Brian Bethke, and you can know everything that I know just simply by following him. He talks about he has Lyme's disease. He's got another disease that has caused him a lot of problems, and despite the struggle, he still continues. And he talks about how much of a struggle it actually is.
Yeah.
He has this music in him. He wants to continue on doing what he's doing, but everyday life takes a lot out of him, let alone getting on the road to go do shows takes a lot out of him. So doing shows for Brian Bethke could end up being a little less you might have a little less opportunity going forward. Now, do I know that for sure? No, I guess I'm kind of gossiping at this point, so I'm going to stop. But the point being, check out Brian Bethke if you ever get the opportunity. Brian's a spectacular artist and a spectacular individual. And I mentioned Sue Orfield because Brian Bethke mentioned Sue Orfield at the end of that song. Sue Orfield is actually going to be in Rice Lake this Saturday over at Mr. Bob's. We're doing a thing. And I'm excited about the thing, personally. It's an annual party. It's called the Dirty Chai White Russian Christmas Special Snowball Party. All one word.
Wow.
No, that's not all one word. Right. Wow. It started as kind of a joke. it started in my living room,
Okay.
and this was back when I was single, bachelor life. I had an upstairs duplex.
Okay.
Actually, right next to the house that I bought. And it was one bedroom and a living room, essentially. Open concept type of
Yeah.
a thing. It had been remodeled. It was a mid-century modern, really cool is what I'm
Yeah.
trying to tell you. My favorite compliment was that it looked like it was from Brooklyn. Like
Oh,
when you
yeah.
were in it, because it was second story, you couldn't see Rice Lake.
Yeah.
You could see the trees and the tops of houses.
Yeah.
I was told that it felt like you were in Brooklyn being in it, and that wasn't anything I did. That was just the vibe of the house.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd take that vibe, and I'd have 5 bands in my living room every 90 days. It was a challenge I made myself,
Wow.
and I did that.
Ambitious. Yep.
I say I did that. I did it 3 times, and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
So, but one of those times, I lost track. I got lost in the memories. I hate it when that happens. This agonic brew is pretty good. No, so I was throwing these parties, and the first Dirty Chai White Russian Christmas Special Snowball Party, we did a Halloween party, and then the second one was the Dirty Chai White Russian Christmas Special Snowball Party,
Okay.
and the third one was a Valentine's Beach party. So house parties, though, mixers, if you will. You
Yeah.
know, we were adults. You can't call them house parties, right?
Yeah, right.
These were mixers, and the house didn't come with a bar, but it had a weird island in the middle of not even in the middle, just kind of off to the side, which worked perfect for a bar.
Yeah.
So I'd set up just a bunch of bottles of liquor and mixers on that bar, and then keep the beer in the fridge, and then we had bands play, and the first one was wild. It was wild, and then that's all I'm gonna say about that one. And like I said, COVID hit. No more house parties. I bought a house with knob and tube electric, so I can't throw house parties in there. The bands will start fires, and that'll be bad. So we throw the annual Dirty Chai White Russian Christmas Special Snowball Party at Mr. Bob's. Now, last year and the year before, is that true? Last year, we did the party in the basement of Mr. Bob's in the Silver Dollar. The Silver Dollar Saloon, have you ever been?
The Silver Dollar. Yes.
Yeah, downstairs?
Long time ago. And it's a little fuzzy, but I was there.
the room is a little fuzzy. It's got the shag carpeting and the stone walls, and
Okay, yeah, that was the place. Okay.
yeah, it's authentic 1980s. It was decorated in 1981, and they've never changed it. True story.
That's cool.
And because it's got the shag carpet on the walls, it just makes such a great listening room for live music. But we're bringing Sue Orfield to Rice Lake, right? So Sue's super talented. So is Randy Sins. Randy Sins plays with Sue. Right, well, a little more than plays with Sue. And then there's John Uptall and Dustin DeGoye. The 4 of them make Balterdash. Balterdash, and I think I'm getting this right, they describe themselves as a saxophone-fronted Americana Celtic folk band.
Huh.
Yeah. And so we booked them for a Christmas party, so they're going to play their original stuff.
Yeah.
And then they're going to play some Christmas tunes as well. And we had John Uptall here in September with the Stefan Geisinger band. He played keys for them and a few other things. I believe with Balterdash, he'll be playing keys and fiddle. So that'll be exciting.
That's kind of cool.
And then that was down in the Silver Dollar that we had John. And then Dustin DeGoye was the artist that kind of started a lot of this. I booked him with the Third Wind Jazz Trio in the Silver Dollar last May. And that was kind of the first time I looked around and was like, hey, there's people here that enjoy this. And, maybe we should do this more often. So I thought it only right to bring Sue Orfield and Dustin back to end out the year, end out the season. So we're going to do that on Saturday. And then, of course, you've got, I mentioned all four. Okay, I was worried I missed somebody in the band.
That party is open to the public. Any cover
No
charge
cover
or
charge. You
anything?
do have to be 21 or older to attend because it's, in a bar. But it's no cover charge. And there's going to be drink specials. It's going to be a real fun time. And this one isn't in the Silver Dollar. This one's going to be upstairs. So it's going to be a little bit different vibe, but you're encouraged to dress to impress or bring an ugly Christmas sweater. One of the two. Either make it a black tie event. In previous years, we've done one or the other, where it was a Christmas sweater party.
Yeah.
And a formal party. When we did it in my living room, it was formal, and people rented tuxedos, and there were big ball gowns for it. It got crazy, but we went all out in every way.
That's wild.
So this year, I didn't want to tell people to, go buy a tuxedo.
Yeah, you don't want to tell people, go spend a crazy amount of money.
But because I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I'll be upfront about that. I ain't going to do it. But if somebody else wants to go buy a tuxedo for this party, this is the party that it's for.
Yeah.
And then, we're in Agonic Brewing Company right now.
Yep.
They're holding a retro prom on December 30th. So
What?
you get your tuxedo.
Is that open to the public?
That also is open to the public, and Weston Shizzle is going to be performing.
Oh, see, that's so cool though for any women too out there that have your old prom dresses still in the closet that still fit, or a bridesmaid dress that you wore once and might not ever wear again. That's kind of a cool concept then to pull a dress out and go do that.
Yeah. And you've got your occasional dress, or guys got their suit that they bought for a wedding.
Yeah, and it just sits there collecting dust, and yeah.
Yeah, and my mom actually just gave me a box, and inside the box was, I think, 4 suits, one for each formal that I went to in high school.
Wow.
And a bunch of old T-shirts and jeans. The jeans from high school still fit.
Good for you, man.
That was it.
Good for you, man.
I didn't have much hope.
Talk about
But
a
it worked.
win if there ever was one.
And the T-shirts too. So I broke out a couple of those.
Gosh,
and
good for you.
There were T-shirts from my first internship over at K102 in Minneapolis.
Oh, cool.
And Cool 108. So I put those back in rotation after what 20? No.
I was gonna say, don't go dating
15,
yourself, man.
15 years. They look like they're 15 years old.
Yeah.
But you'll have that. So bring out an ugly sweater. Bring out.
And what time
a
is that on
tuxedo.
Saturday?
Oh, Saturday. You're gonna want to be there early for this one. Usually for our parties, we'll do music from 10 to midnight or 10 to 1 or 2. This time we're going to start the music. And notice I didn't say doors, because that's a trick I like to pull. We'll put doors on the flyer for 8 p.m. This time, doors are at 7. The music starts at 8:30.
Ah.
So you want to be there early for this one. Music is at 8:30, and they'll go pretty close to midnight. So come out and join us this Saturday from 8:30. Come dressed to impress.
Or in an ugly sweater.
Or in an ugly sweater. I mean, that could be impressive too.
Yeah.
That could be impressive too. And enjoy yourself with us. That's going to be a good time. So, Sarah,
Yes.
I've got another song for you.
Ooh, what's this one?
Well, I know you like country music.
Love it.
What do you think of blues?
If it's good blues, I love it. There's just some, that's like any genre. I know we're talking about this, but there's some that I listen to and I'm like, I can't get into it. But there are some that I do like.
So I've got 2 songs for you to choose from, and maybe we can squeeze in both of them, but just in case we can't, I need you to pick one.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, the first one is called Always Gonna Be Here. It's by Brother John and Friends. They're comprised of, well, Brother John and Casey Friends.
That is
So-
still, I think, so cool. You were telling me that earlier, and I think that's so cool.
Yeah, Brother John and Casey Friends make up Brother John and Friends, and they've got their album out, I believe, and I could be getting this wrong, but I don't think I am. The Long Road to Memphis album or EP out, and this is the song is off of that. It's called "Always Gonna Be Here." Or there's the title track off of Aaron Lee Kaplan's album "Smiley's Blues" that was recorded in the Silver Dollar.
That's a tough choice. I think I'm going with the first one.
With Brother John and Friends.
Yep, I'm kind of interested with that title, what that song's about.
It's called "Always Gonna Be Here" from Brother John and Friends.
Let's go. Moving through my life, I'm kind of stressed. I gotta get these thoughts off my chest. With this shit, not where I wanna be, cause it's mid at best. And I just wanna move free, just wanna be me. But sometimes it's hard when you're living in a city where nobody goes too far. It sounds sad, but it's not. Because my people around me, they got my back, got love. We have a ton of fun. Sometimes we take drugs, cause you know we got the plug. So I pick myself up and dust myself off. Grab a fucking six-pack, head to play disc golf. But don't forget my vape, I got a stupid habit. Sucking down some juice like a baby, gotta have it. I guess it ain't all bad, it's just the way you grab it. And if it makes you mad, I gotta have it. I'm moving through my life, moving through the motions. If it makes you mad, it's my secret potion. Moving through my life and moving through the motions. And if you think it's bad, it's my secret potion. We're moving through our lives, moving through our motions. And if it makes you mad, it's our secret potion. Moving through my life, moving through the motions. And if it make you mad, it's my secret potion. Listen to this motherfucker fucking strum those strings, yo. Sheesh. Yo, go. Oh, we hit it one time with the haters in the back. Then walk on stage, bars we attack. It's life speed in front of you. You can't deny it's true. We make it sound different like the other ones just try to do. I know life's hard, and so do you. But all we gotta do is give our all and we'll make it through. Fire in the hole. We're about to blow, smoking like Joe with a plethora of foes. While I'm sucking bitches' toes because I'm nasty. Eating toast with honeycomb cause I'm classy. Like a king, everybody sing. Even when it gets tough, I'm acting like I won the ring. I'm moving through my life, moving through the motions. If you think it's bad, it's my secret potion. Moving through my life, moving through the motions. And if it makes you mad, it's my secret potion. Moving through my life, moving through the motions. And if it makes you mad, it's my secret potion. We're moving through our lives, moving through our motions. And if you think it's bad, fuck you. Let's go, Mr. Bob's Silver Dollar Bar. Let's fucking go. Woo! We love hanging out with y'all. This is a lot of fun. Cool vibes down here. Happy Halloween.
You're listening to True North. I'm Ryan Quinn. With me is Sarah C. Hello.
Hi.
Happy to be still going here. That was Lifespeed, recorded live at the Silver Dollar Saloon on October 27th. They opened up for a band called Aquamelon, and the song was called Move.
I liked his vocals. That was the one thing I really took away as soon as it started. I mean, you saw me. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I won't lie. You guys didn't see it on camera, but you made that face that every musician loves and takes as a compliment. That mean mugging, like, yeah, what did I just hear?
Yeah, where you're really just, yeah.
And that was right when the drums kicked in too, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as soon as I heard his vocals too, it had me. I was I like how smooth his voice sounded.
And it was a trip to see that in person, because that was our Halloween party this year.
Ah, yes.
And so he dressed up as the Sopranos, and he killed it.
That's cool.
He absolutely
That's cool.
Slicked back hair, white polo tucked
Yeah.
in, like just he nailed it. He nailed it. So that was I've never seen The Sopranos. I think he was Tony Soprano.
Okay, you've never seen The Sopranos?
I've never, and I realized that I'm missing out.
Yeah.
I think the reason is because I didn't own cable when it was new and current.
Ah, okay.
I didn't have access.
But like, there's streaming services now. At the tips of your fingers, you could watch it.
And I have HBO Max.
Dude, come on.
Yeah,
There's
so-
no reason for you to not have seen The Sopranos.
But I haven't. And I can't change that. I mean, I can, but not right now.
That's your
Oh.
assignment before our next podcast. You have got to go watch The Sopranos.
And I know that I'm going to love it. I
You're
know that
gonna,
I'm going
yeah.
to get sucked in. I love that type of stuff.
Dude, I watched it as a kid and loved those movies.
So, that was our Halloween party.
Okay.
The Christmas party's coming up.
Yes, we talked. Is that the one we were talking about a little bit earlier?
Yep. And I'd like to play one more song from you. Or for you, not from you. If you wanted to sing a song, you could. Do you want to sing a song?
No, I'm better at talking than I am singing.
All right. I'd like to play one more song for you. And then after that, I'd like to do a little bit of a rundown of different events that are coming up.
Yeah.
All right, so this is Aaron Lee Kaplan's Smiley's Blues. We found a chance to fit it in. This is the title track from the album Smiley's Blues by Aaron Lee Kaplan.
Smiley's Blues. They call me Smiley, 'cause I'm such a joyful guy. They call me Smiley, 'cause I'm such a joyful guy. I'm so big and happy, I make other people cry. They always ask me, can't you frown at least sometimes? They always ask me, can't you frown at least sometimes? Well, people, can I help it? But I got the reason and the rhyme. Can't keep from smiling 'cause I'm floating out the night. Can't keep from smiling 'cause I'm rolling with good times. Can't keep from smiling, not a worry or care. Can't keep from smiling, it's the cross I have to bear. They're always wondering, don't your face ever get tired? They're always wondering, don't your face ever get tired? Well, people, let me ask ya, why can't my face just be admired? They tell me I've been cursed with resting jolly face. They tell me I've been cursed with resting jolly face. Well, people, don't you get it? It's just the way I was made. Can't keep from smiling 'cause I'm so peachy keen. Can't keep from smiling 'cause I'm living the dream. Can't keep from smiling 'cause life's a bed of roses. Can't keep from smiling, I guess that's my psychosis. They call me Smiley, can't keep my glee to myself. They call me Smiley, can't keep my glee to myself. And I can't see why you people want me to be somebody else. Thank you, Smiley's Blues.
This is True North from DirtyChaiRadio.com. I'm Ryan Quinn. Sarah C. is still with me here live at Agonic Brewing Company. It's been a fun hour with you.
It has been. And before we get too carried away, Mr. Quinn, we do, because this is us kind of launching the True North podcast, I think we owe our listeners an explanation of what they can expect with this podcast.
Well, we'd like to, we're going to meet again on December 20th at 5 p.m. And we're going to try and every other week fill you in on what's happening in the Northwoods, and as well as that is introducing you to the characters that make up the Northwoods and share stories from our lives. So if you like, join us again not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that. And remember, we are live, so if you wanted to come and join us in person here at Agonic Brewing Company, please feel free. Now, before we wrap up tonight's show, I thought that maybe we'd take a look at the calendar and see when we can plan to, outside of the show, plan to meet with friends again. And looks like coming up on today's Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday. So on Friday, the 8th, there's going to be the North Country Christmas with Kat Perkins. That's going to be happening at the Enchanted Barn. And there's more details if you search for North Country Christmas with Kat Perkins on Facebook. You can find the Facebook event and plan to do that. Of course, the Dirty Chai White Russian Christmas Special Snowball Party at Mr. Bob's is happening on Saturday. And then next Thursday, so a week from the 8th, on the 15th, at the Lakely in Eau Claire, there's going to be late night jazz with the Paul Hecht Trio. That goes from 7 until 10 p.m. And again, look for that on Facebook. You can find the Facebook event. So this is really exciting. I mentioned the Lifespeed and the Halloween party. Lifespeed actually opened up for a reggae band that we had. The reggae band was called Aquamelon. Aquamelon shares members with a band called Caskmates. Happens to be one of my favorite bands of the area. And they kind of do funk rock type of a thing in like Sublime meets Red Hot Chili Peppers, essentially, is where their original music falls. And they're going to be playing at the Mousetrap Tavern in Eau Claire on Saturday, December the 16th. The show starts at 9 p.m. So if you're looking for good music and you want to have yourself a good time, there you go. Now you got a couple. And don't forget, here at Agonic on December 30th, they're going to be doing the Retro Prom. That'll kick off at 7 p.m., goes till 11 p.m., and Weston Shizzle will be playing. They're going to have photo booths and all sorts of fun. So get dressed up and come out to Agonic Brewing Company on Saturday, December the 30th from 7 until 11.
All sorts of super fun stuff for people to get out and about.
All sorts of super
See, I like this part of it, too, that we're doing this because I'm a resident hermit. That Ryan's picked on me before about it, too, because I really don't get out a lot. I just enjoy being home. And so I am trying to broaden my horizons by checking out local events that we have going on and things like that. So it's nice to learn about them.
Well, being that you're a hermit, maybe this isn't going to interest you. And I don't know what you and Mr. Church are doing for New Year's.
Right, because that's not you.
Right.
You're not Mr. Church.
I'm not Mr. Church.
We want to clarify that.
I'm Ryan Quinn. As much as I want to escape that, I can't. But on December 31st, New Year's, I'm going to be DJing in Thorpe, Wisconsin.
Where is Thorpe? No, I've heard of Thorpe. Where is Thorpe?
Thorpe is south.
Okay.
Near Stanley Boyd area, I think.
Oh, yeah. Okay, okay.
Yeah. I won't lie, it's a hike. Like, you got like an hour and 40-minute drive ahead of you if you're going to come down. But I've never had a bad time in Thorpe. I DJ at a place called the Wasted Grain, and they throw on a party. So if you want to make the journey, I would love to see you there. I'm going to be spending my New Year's Eve in Thorpe. So I guess I'm going to start next year in Thorpe as well.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time, other than Bruce, Wisconsin, that I've spent New Year's Eve not in Rice Lake, Wisconsin.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
How about that?
Yeah.
Weird. Weird.
It's so crazy, too, to think New Year's is coming up this fast. It just,
Right?
oh, my goodness.
And I don't know. I lived in the cities for a couple years. Well, yeah, a couple years. Less than 3, more than 2. I don't know where I spent New Year's when I lived there. I don't remember. I have no idea.
Got a couple like that, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't.
I've got a couple New Year's Eves that I know I celebrated. Like when I said to you, I know I've been to the Silver.
The Silver Dollar.
The Silver Dollar was fuzzy by the time we got there, but
Just like the bar itself.
exactly.
Fuzzy. It's a good way to spend a night, though. Fuzzy.
Yeah.
It was a fuzzy night. Yeah.
Those were fun when I was young. I feel like the older I get now, you pay for it for days.
That's just 'cause it's more fun when you're older. It costs more, but it's more fun.
Yeah.
I kid. I jest. But regardless of how you like to party, come out and join us this Saturday at Mr. Bob's Welcome Balderdash to the Dirty Chai White Russian Christmas Special Snowball Party. And don't forget to come and join us again on December the 20th right here at Agonic Brewing Company.
And there are some other local kind of other things coming up too in the area. It'd be Thursday, December 21st at 5:30. There is the winter solstice hike over at Hunt Hill.
Audubon.
Thank you. I mess it up every time I say it. Audubon Sanctuary. That program is $8 per person, $20 for a family. The location is over at Hunt Hill. Registration's not required, but is encouraged. You can hike along a Hunt Hill trail illuminated by candlelight on the longest night of the year, then warm up with some hot cocoa and s'mores by the fire, which I thought sounded like a fun little thing to get out and about if you're not, not necessarily wanting to go, to a bar or restaurant. You would like hiking. That would be a beautiful and fun event to go and attend. That was one of the ones in the area that I saw. This Saturday, there's a ton of stuff actually coming up, but one of the big ones, there's craft and bake sale pictures with Santa. That's over at it's put on by the Community Cat Rescue and Adoption Center.
Oh, fun.
I love that place. I got one of our kitty cats there, and I think what they do is so cool. But that event itself is over on 23 East Brackland Street in Rice Lake. Mark your calendar. It's December 9th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. There is craft and bake sale to benefit the Community Cat Rescue and Adoption Center of Barron County, and Santa will be there at 1.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, there's all sorts of super cool stuff coming up here in our area. Another one, I have to mention this because I do have a little guy that's a Bluey fan, but there is Bluey story time at the Rice Lake Library. That's Tuesday, December 12th at 10:30 a.m.
I don't know if I'm happy or sad that the little ones in my house that just old enough that we missed Bluey.
Yeah, see, but
there was a little Bluey.
I was going to say, there's a thing, though, too. Like, my daughter, I've adopted our daughter when she was 19. She's in the United States Army now. I talk about her a lot on the radio. But she loves Bluey. And she's 21 now, adores Bluey. And, like, there's times she'll turn it on and, my husband and I walk in the room and we're like, what are you watching?
Watching Bluey.
Yeah, she loves it. So I feel like it is one of those cartoons that, though it is like tailored to kids, there are a lot of adults that think it's great.
Yeah, I don't know whether I'm happy or I'm sad that I missed it, but
yeah,
I did.
I feel like now you need to just check it out just on concept.
Right. Yeah, it's a cultural reference that I understand, but I don't understand all at the same time.
Yeah, it is a cute thing, though, for, I think, kind of a modern kick on a children's show. They really talk about a lot of, like, tough topics, and they find ways to present it to a children-based audience, which I think is really cool.
That's another talent, like writing a good country song that
yes.
I don't have, but God bless the people that can.
Yes. No, and I think, when you and I originally were kind of pitching the idea of a podcast and going back and forth on it, too, that was one thing that came up is, like, there's just not enough people out there that, number one, focus on community-based events and things going on in their area or are passionate about where they live. But also, there's not people that are really willing to have sometimes the tough conversations and talk about tough topics.
Right. I ain't scared.
No, we ain't scared.
Come here, bring it. Give us what you got. An extra microphone just for you.
That's right. This is a safe place.
Comment redacted by author. But thank you for joining us here on a Wednesday night. Don't forget to we're going to do it again on December the 20th, 5 p.m. Is when we shoot to be broadcasting. So come on out either on the stream. Of course, you can find the podcast wherever you find major podcasts or major streaming services. And, of course, the best place ever, dirtychairadio.com. Did you know you can get leggings at dirtychairadio.com?
Are you serious?
Yeah. They got
Like merch or just...
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the only merch that you sell?
No, there's coffee mugs and trucker caps and...
This is cool. Well, hey, who knows? If this takes off enough, we could get some True North podcast merch going on there, too.
You'll have to check the dirtychairadio.com store and see when the True North merch hits.
Yeah, it's coming. The idea's planted.
Yeah, thanks again for joining us. We are going to do it again on Wednesday, December the 20th at Agonic Brewing Company, and all you got to do is show up or stream. Either way is fine with me.
5 o'clock.
Yes, 5 o'clock at Agonic Brewing Company, and of course at dirtychairadio.com.